Welcome to our city. We are here in the mayor's office at the Muscatine City Hall. It's July 9th. Can't believe where this year has went. Hey, if you didn't catch it yet, last week for our city, we were down on site at the Almost Friday Fest and had a great time down there. I know it's out there circulating on Facebook and YouTube and all different places, and we may start doing a little bit more of that because it was really fun to be out there with everyone. Now, we just finished 4th of July celebration, Independence Day. It was a hot one, but it was so fun. Everybody had a good time. And you know, we brought back some of the fun of the parade from yesteryear, where we actually did prizes for the floats, and we had a lot more floats than we used to. And I had a wonderful opportunity. Typically, I ride in a convertible at the front of the parade, but this year, they asked me, would you like to ride in a gator instead? And they said, if you rode in a gator, then you could have somebody from your family drive you, and you could have a couple grandkids in the back. And I said, that sounds fine to me. So my sister was up here on vacation, and she said, I'll drive you. So it was so much fun, and my niece was in the back and 2 granddaughters. And I said, the worst part of it was I didn't want to give the gator back when it was over. I said, I wouldn't mind having one of these to tootle around in. But there were a lot of people out, even weathering the heat. You could sure see the difference in the look on everyone's faces from the shade spot to the hot spot. So good luck for those people that were out there in the beating sun, but it was well worth it, and the fireworks were really nice, and it was a really good day here in our city for everybody to just spend together and enjoy celebrating our independence. Well, we've got a wonderful show lineup tonight. We have Dr. Brad Bark here as our first guest, and he's going to talk to us about the second annual Rockin' on Sycamore.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
So this is the second time to do Rockin' on Sycamore, and what is the event actually?
So the event is basically just music festival concerts to bring community together and raise money for an organization that we want to sponsor, basically. And last year was Shop with a Cop, and this year we're doing Shop with a Cop as well.
Oh, I love Shop with the Cop.
Me too.
Just to see, I've got to be out there a couple times and see the kids, and it's so exciting. And you know, although it's a big argument between who has more fun, the kids or the cops.
Probably both.
Because you can see the look on both of their fases.
Yes, absolutely.
So did you raise a lot of money for it?
Yeah, last year we raised just over $7,000.
Oh my goodness.
We had about 28, 29 days. We decided to do it. Brian Chick and I sat down, had a cup of coffee, and just decided to do that and started asking businesses to sponsor. Just came up with a quick little plan, and that was just one night in October, late October, for about 3-4 hours, and we had 2 bands at that time.
So last year was just one night. This year's the 2 nights.
This year is 2 nights. The first night we have 3 bands. The second night 5 bands. So 2 nights, 8 bands.
So the first night is Christian rock.
Yes.
And who are the bands?
So we have Kim Wiseman and Friends, and she's a provider, OB/GYN, and amazing voice, voice. And then we have the second band, which is called Redeemed, and it's a new band that has come together for this event specifically. It's,
really?
Mitzi Baston, and then we have Tristan Toll, and then playing drums we have Josiah Street, and then we have Sarah Butler playing the keyboard, and then we have Jim Van Wiegel playing electric guitar, and then Brent Kissenmacher playing bass.
Wow.
I remembered all the names. Yeah.
I know, good. That was great. No freezes on you there.
And again, Mitzi and Tristan, amazing voice. They play at Calvary Church
Do they?
right now, and amazing job. And then the band, the headlining, it's called the Nate Draghi Band. And he used to be the worship leader here in Muscatine at Calvary Church, and moved to North Dakota to be the worship pastor leader at Bethel Church. And we have him coming back. They're actually going to be back tomorrow, and very excited to see him again.
Oh yeah. And so that's Friday night.
That's Friday night.
All right, and then Saturday night.
And that's from 7 o'clock to 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
And then the second night is from 6 o'clock until midnight. And kicking it off, five bands, which is going to be amazing. So we have Poor Boys, the first band, which Brian Chick, the guy who was helping me with everything. And then after that, we have Lefty and the Spinners, which apparently is a really big buzz going around Iowa. I read that they opened up for Beach Boys at one time, which is pretty cool. I mean, everybody knows the Beach Boys.
Everybody knows, and everybody knows Lefty and the Spinners.
Unless you talk to teenagers now, they don't know the Beach Boys, but they're pretty nice. But and then after that, we have Blind Alley.
Oh, yeah.
And Blind Alley is going to, once they play one more show, they're going to be in the Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, my goodness.
So 2 significant things happening. And then we have Roadside Circus, which some of Blind Alley is going to be playing with them. And then we have First Impression, which will be playing last.
So do you have a history of rock music?
I love rock music. During football, you have to listen to rock music while you lift weights. But yeah.
So that's where. So this was your idea, your brainchild, or you and Brian cooked it up together?
Brian and I cooked it up together, and then from there, as you know, you can't do things alone. You have to have a team, and so then we started reaching out to local businesses and helping out, and we have sponsors.
You got good sponsors.
Absolutely, which is why this event is free for the public.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you next. Free for the public.
Free admission. It's going to be fun for the kids. We have big bounce houses coming, so I think it's like a 36-foot-long bounce house obstacle. So bring the kids. We'll have little glow sticks, little blue glow sticks that you'll be able to wave around, and they're blue for the police officers. Little flags and
Where's it going to be set up at?
The little kid station?
Yes.
Right where Second and Sycamore meet.
Okay. And then where's the band going to be?
The band's going to be in the alleyway, right down Sycamore Street, kind of where the alley and Sycamore
Behind
meet.
your building?
Behind my building, yeah. Yes.
Behind you and Guadalajara, that whole area there. Okay. Yeah. So then where will the folks be listening to the band? In the parking lot?
Nope, not in the parking lot. So we're going to be basically, if you're looking at a bird's eye view, so we're going to be on Sycamore Street, facing 2nd Street.
Facing 2nd Street,
but in the alley, yeah.
Okay.
And then in the parking lot, we're going to have Skitty's Barbecue. So Court Cleese, basically, it's going to be a new restaurant here in town. So he's the son of Boonies. Mike,
yes.
Mike and Teresa.
Isn't he going to be in Pearl Plaza?
Pearl Plaza,
yes.
Yeah. So he's going to kind of have a debut of cooking food for the public for purchase. And really excited about that too, because everybody likes barbecue.
Oh yeah, especially in July.
At least I do.
That's right.
So it'll be fun. So having good times and having community.
We need to pray for some good weather.
Yes, we do.
So do people need to bring lawn chairs?
Yeah, people can bring lawn chairs. They can bring, their soft drinks, water, whatever they would like to bring. There's going to be picnic tables. We have about 20 picnic tables, which will be there. Garbage cans. There's going to be porta potties there. A place where you can wash your hands. Provided by Curry's, which is really nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So this is going to be a good fun event. Now, what can they buy? They can buy barbecue. They can buy drinks.
They can buy the soda, the water there as well if they'd like. Yeah.
And is there any alcohol?
The second night there will be.
Okay.
Second night we're gonna have alcohol, which everybody's gonna be safe. Everybody's gonna be really safe that night.
Yeah.
And we have a couple officers that will be walking around, which
helping out.
Helping out.
Yeah.
And then
making sure we keep this family friendly.
Right. Family friendly is the key thing, because it's all about the kids for Christmas for Shop with the Cop.
Yeah. Yeah. We want it to be all family and neighborly.
Neighborly. Yes.
I just think we've got to get back to that neighborly more and more and more. As topics come up that are around the pike lately, or even with the fireworks stuff, we're still working on that a little bit. Let's just be a good neighbor.
Yeah.
And I talk about that to people driving too. Do you have to be the first one out? Can you not just let someone else go first?
Right.
And you feel good, and they feel good. Let's just be good neighbors.
Absolutely.
So that's what the police officers will make sure we're all being good neighbors, right?
Yeah, and one of the big stories last year, of course, was what we made to help Shop with the Cop. But Whitney Pena last year, which I believe she's the president of Shop with the Cop right now. So in full uniform, she got up on stage and was singing a rock song in front of everybody.
Very
nice.
The
kids went crazy when they saw, an officer up there. And what a way to break the ice, just to show that, they're part of this community too, and they protect us. And it's
they're
amazing.
Our friends.
They're our friends.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
When you need them, I had an incident, just earlier this year, where I got in an accident, and it was just a minor fender bender, but it was going south for me, and I was scared because of the situation, and just so happened to be there were two undercover police officers right next door and come right there to your defense, and just how lucky are we that they are just all over our community to protect us.
Right.
And the fire department's the same way, but surely the Shop with the Cop is so nice. And there's even a group of them where they go over to like Cedar Park and Cedar Hills apartment complexes and do things with the children there. You'll see them opening up, sometimes on TV, opening up a fire hydrant and letting the kids play in the water.
Right.
Just they're just real.
Yeah.
Just like all of us, and they have kids and
they have kids,
grandkids
and they're wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. And
there's Brett.
Yes.
Yep.
There's Tony at the bottom.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be nice, and we have a couple business owners, small business owners, and a couple officers that are going to be up on the stage, telling who they are, what they represent, and why community is important to them.
Oh, that's great.
And that's the key thing, just so people get to see that everybody's real and we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We're doing this where we don't have to wait for, unfortunately in our society, if something bad happens, that's when we all rally against each other.
Yes.
This is one of those opportunities to
Let's
just
rally
come
now.
together. Let's rally now. Yeah.
We don't have to wait for the bad.
Exactly. So good times, good
That's
music, and fun for the family.
Well, what a wonderful program and project that you're putting together this event to support Shop with the Cop and to bring all the community together for a good fun time. I mean, we have so many things going on in our community, and we still need more and more and more, and this is one of those.
Yeah.
So we've got our second Saturdays and the summer concert and Almost Friday Fest and Rockin' with Sycamore and certainly all the stuff at the Art Center. It's all these opportunities for our city to get together and spend time together and be good neighbors.
Absolutely.
Have fun.
Yes, and have fun.
Lighten up.
Fun is key.
Have a little bit of fun.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Well, did you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors, or are there too many to mention?
There's a lot of sponsors out there. There's a lot of sponsors out there. We have over 30 sponsors this year, which is great. Yes. So there's a lot, and we're going to be giving a lot of shout outs at that night. We're going to have banners of appreciation, and we're going to have a TV showing who's sponsoring. There's 4 different levels that we did, and we have them all ready to go. And
that's great.
But just so thankful. I mean, we can't do this without the sponsors, without the city helping out, the police department, fire department, everybody working together to make sure everybody's safe.
Sure.
And so it's going to be fun, and hopefully there's going to be a lot of people down here. I know last year we had just a little over 300 people.
Wow.
So we're hoping for same turnout, if not a little bit more.
Is it the same time frame as it was last year? Was it in July?
No, it was in October last year.
That's what I was thinking.
And it was a cold night.
Yeah.
It was a really cold night. So we had a bunch of gas heaters, and everybody was curled around there, and it worked out well. But this year, we're not going to have the heaters out this year.
No, doubtful.
Yeah,
doubtful.
But it'll be nice, and hopefully the weather's supposed to be lower 70s.
Sure, and when you're getting into the evening there, you should have some shade, and it won't be like you're out there in the beating sun.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a professional stage. We've got laser lights. We have amazing sound system both nights, so it's going to be pretty rockin' time.
Good.
Yeah.
We talk all the time on here about how our community just wouldn't be what it is and be able to do events like this without the giving people in our community, the businesses, that are ran by people that live right here in our community.
Right.
And they come forth and they help out and they sponsor events like this to make things like this possible, because it wouldn't be if we didn't have the generosity of everybody here.
Absolutely. I agree.
And the forward thinkers like you and Brian to come up with this. I'm thinking, man, next time I want to do an event, I know who to call. If you guys can whip this up on an evening, just sitting having coffee.
Right. Yeah, our minds don't stop moving, which can be a negative too, but this is a good thing.
Yes. Yep. Well, I wish you nothing but the best, because
thank you.
Supporting Shop with the Cop is something everybody wants.
Right.
So just come on down and have a good time and support a good cause. Is there an opportunity for people to still donate if they can't come?
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely even if you do come, there's going to be an opportunity to donate when you get there. There's going to be several different stations. Officers will have a big box that you can just drop something off if you'd like.
That's great.
And again, everything just goes to Shop with a Cop. We Rockin' on Sycamore is a 501c3 through the Community Foundation.
Okay.
Which is good to have. Last year we didn't have that, so we just donated and just gave it back right away. But this year a little bit different. Yep, there's the cool little glow sticks.
Oh, aren't those
My
neat?
kids are excited about those.
Oh, I bet.
They are excited about those. So we're going to try to hand those out when it's nighttime, so we're going to break them all and, go up in the air. And
how neat.
Yeah, that's going to be really exciting. And then those flags, I have a couple of my staff at the office. They're going to be putting it together tomorrow. We have over 500 of those little flags that we're going to be handing out too, because it's all about respect.
And these are for service worker flags.
This is for the police officers.
Department.
Yes. So we're going to hand them out, and the kids, when they get the little glow sticks, and we're going to have the officers hand them out, and just getting something. I remember when I was a kid getting something from it was the coolest thing ever. And then getting a little badge, which I still just want a little metal badge now, but that's fine. But yeah, it's going to be a good event.
Good. Well, we'll all be praying for good weather.
Thank you. Prayers are always good.
Starts on Friday night at 7 o'clock.
Yep, 7 o'clock, we're going to be rocking to some amazing Christian music, worshiping, and then second night, classical rock night. And
sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. Well, thank you so much for doing this for our city.
Thank you.
It'll be wonderful, I'm sure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, while we're getting ready to transition to our next guest, I wanted to show just real quick, if we could, Chad, the flyer for Rockin' on Sycamore real quick, just for everybody to see. 7 o'clock on Friday, July 12th. Should be up there. There you go. So Friday, July 12th, 7 to 10:30, and then Saturday, July 13th, 6 to midnight. And make sure you get on down there and support Shop with the Cop, and thanks to these guys for all their hard work. I'd like to ask everybody to save the date for the Muscatine County Fair. It's going to be here before we know it, July 17th through the 21st, so that looks like a week from tomorrow it's going to be starting. We'll have to check out the lineup, everything that's going to be coming up, and get that out to everybody. There's a ton of stuff, as you know, at the Muscatine County Fair. If you're looking for fun, that's going to be a place to go. Once again, we'll be praying for some good weather, because it always seems like it's the hottest week of the year when it's time for the county fair. Next, I would like to ask you to save the date if you would. Jeff Barnhart is going to be at the Merrill on August 4th, and the tickets are $20. You're not going to want to miss this. You can get tickets right now at Flowers on the Avenue, or else you could wait and get them at the door. That would be fine as well. But it's going to be wonderful. He's a renowned pianist, vocalist. If you've never heard Jeff Barnhart play, you're going to want to do it. There'll be a cash bar there, and of course, supporting the arts in Muscatine County is something that is important to all of us. So at the Merrill on August 4th, you're not going to want to miss hearing Jeff Barnhart. Next, I would like to have you help me welcome Mr. John Haskins with Friends of the Old Barn. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, I'm so glad you came. You know, it hasn't been too long ago that we all were waiting with bated breath to hear what the Muscatine County Supervisors were going to help with Friends of the Old Barn, but it seems like we're still rocking and rolling out there, right?
Yes, we are. The interesting thing that's happened is that Board of Supervisors have taken the responsibility away from the Friends of the Old Barn and turned it over to the Muscatine County Conservation Commission.
Isn't that wonderful?
And that seems to be working very well.
Good.
Kurt Weiss is very cooperative, and
good.
We're getting things done
sure.
through that organization that we didn't have the funds for. So,
well, yeah.
So we're looking at it with a lot of anticipation and cooperation.
You've been doing this for a really long time, haven't you?
We started this in 2005.
Wow.
Was the first time the barn came up for demolition, and we formed a group, and so saved it, and
yep.
we've been taking care of it since 2005.
Oh,
and now,
well, thank you.
Well, you betcha.
Because it's so important to the people that we have the old barn. I mean, it's just part of our legacy.
Yes, it
here
is.
In Muscatine.
That's the reason I got involved in it, and the Friends of the Old Barn got involved in it. It's unique in two aspects. The architecture of it, the round roof line called Gothic, and that's architecturally unique, and the idea that it was part of the Muscatine County Poor Farm.
Yes, the old county home.
Yes, the old county home,
yes.
Which was originally called the Poor Farm.
Right.
And a little history on that is when the state of Iowa was formed as an agricultural state, the legislature said, hey, we need to set aside 160 acres in each county to have a place for the people who can't take care of themselves to go to. So each county in Iowa had what they called at that time, a poor farm. And that was our early welfare for the state of Iowa.
They could go out there and work, but they would be able to be fed. And yes. And then the county home kind of stretched from that, and people with disabilities went and lived there. Yeah.
And so it's all worked the way it should, I guess.
Sure.
Because it is.
And I love the location where it is with the Muscatine County Conservation. Our daughter Michelle is one of the naturalists for Muscatine County Conservation. And they've got the new playground there
right.
that sits where the old county home was,
Correct.
you know, right next to the old barn. And I think most of those, there's just going to be draws to get more people out there. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a real asset, and there's going to be a new bathroom put on that site too for the people to use. But yeah, the barn is unique, but if you've seen it once or twice, especially if you're a kid, you know, nothing has
it's
changed.
A barn, yeah.
You know, they go in there and they say, "Oh wow, this is neat." What else are we going to do?
Sure.
But with the playground and everything there, it's going to be a good asset, I believe, and it's going to help the barn stay there.
So the history, you told me before we started why it's white.
Why is white? All dairy barns were white, and the red barns were non-dairy barns.
So they were like for hay and stuff.
Yeah, and the reason they were white is because the powers that be at the time thought white was more sterile, and you could keep it cleaner if you could see non-white.
Sure.
So
there you go.
So the cows and all everything that created stuff
right
had you know, you could wash it off and keep it clean.
Sure.
So
and you'd know if it wasn't.
You'd know if it wasn't.
Right.
Because it was white.
So they're going to build a restroom, but it's going to be not in the barn, right?
No.
No.
It's going to be outside the barn,
facility.
Pretty close to where the playground is. That's where I believe it's going to go. But
so if you look here, you can see some of the inside of the barn. What is this piece right in the middle with the silver door there?
I don't know.
Can you go back there? It's like a box right there. What is?
That's the elevator.
Is that the elevator?
Yeah.
And that takes you upstairs to the loft?
Yes.
Oh,
When we started working on the barn, in order to comply with ADA requirements, we had to have an elevator in the barn. So through the generosity of one of our city fathers, we got the elevator installed in there. So we were ADA compliant,
sure,
which allowed us to take wheelchairs up there. It's a small elevator. It's just big enough for the wheelchair and an assistant, but hey, it gets you where you're going.
It gets you where you're going. So what is upstairs then?
The upstairs is the arch, and that's the beauty of it. And what people say when they go up there is that there's a good shot of it. The expression is, wow. So everybody sees the size of it and the idea that there's no support beams and everything. It's just looks like a old boat upside down.
Upside down boat. You're right.
But it's called Gothic.
It's called Gothic.
Gothic, yeah.
Wow. Are there a lot of that type left?
No. Through the National Foundation of Barns in Iowa, the lady who runs that claims that we're losing 1,000 barns a year due to lack of use and no need for it.
That's terrible.
And a barn always falls down from the roof. The roof starts leaking, the wood starts rotting, et cetera,
there
et cetera.
It goes.
So you keep a roof on it, they last forever. That barn's almost 100 years old.
Is it in good shape?
It's in excellent shape.
Oh, that's great.
You'll have to come out and see it.
It's been a while since I've been there.
Yeah, well, come out and see it because it's worth the trip.
Sure.
We have the thing open 4 times a year.
4 times?
4 times a year, and the next one is going to be in August. Then in September, we're planning on having a sunset at the barn where we're going to have some entertainment and some food, and you just sit out there and watch the sunset.
Oh, sure.
And we're looking forward to that. So that's our big deal for the year. And I don't know exactly the time frame.
The other ones, sure.
But we'll advertise it. And
so, can people rent it out for anything yet?
No, not at this time. It's not available for rent. We would hope to change that because my contention has always been it's the people's barn. The people of the county should be allowed to use it.
Sure.
But there's legal restrictions and insurance requirements and those kind of things that naturally are the Board of Supervisors' concerns.
Right, but maybe down the road.
Maybe down the road.
I could see a wedding reception in there would be amazing.
We had one.
Did you?
We had one, and then we found out we were in violation of the city fire code.
Uh-oh.
You can't have a group of people, a large group of people in the second story of a wood frame barn or building. It's just, you got to have all kinds of sprinklers and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So we had the one, and the assistant chief said, you can't do that. You don't meet the requirements. It isn't sprinkled and those kind of things.
Sure.
And we don't want to sprinkle it because that'll take away from the appearance of it. So we'll work it out.
There's ways around stuff.
Yeah.
I see a couple ceiling fans up there.
Quick story on that is the people who got married in there, the bride and the groom, they came in before they was married. She wanted to look it over, and she said, wow, this is where I want to get married. And she says, but there's no lights there. Barns only had one little light bulb, and it was up at the top of the thing. And I said, I don't know what you're going to do about that, because we're nonprofit, we don't have any money.
Yeah.
And the groom said, if you will pay for the material, we will do the work. I said, are you a licensed contractor, electrical contractor? He says, yes, I am. So the groom and his buddies came in every Saturday prior to the wedding and put those fans up there and rewired the whole thing. We got electrical box that'll meet the code on any city.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And he was instrumental in that. He didn't put that in, but he put all the wiring and everything and the fans up there, and that's a good thing that he did, because it does get hot there.
I bet that does help with it.
Yeah, and it helps.
Keeps that moving. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it's been a joy to work with it, and the group that we've had of volunteers, they've been excellent. And I'd like to make that comment too. Muscatine, it's my experience that Muscatine has some of the nicest volunteers, and they all seem to want to help with different projects.
You're so right. We talk about it all the time, and it's so true.
Yeah.
If you have a need where you need people to come together and help you do something, they'll be there.
Yeah, yep.
If you have a need and you need a donation for something, they'll be there.
That's right.
We are just so blessed in that way. So blessed in that way. And you know what, we all saw and heard and felt that when there was talk about tearing down the old barn, and people were quite riled up. Oh no, you can't do that. And yes.
Well, that's the people of Muscatine again. If they support their issues.
Yes, they do.
And they show up for those kind of things. And it wasn't, the reason it was scheduled for a tear down was nobody in the county could figure out a use for it.
Sure.
And they don't want to support empty buildings.
Right.
And I can understand that.
Yeah.
But when they started demolish the barn, enough of us got riled up that we filled the courthouse with voters 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah.
And got them stopped, and that's democracy in progress.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The will of the people.
Yep.
They went the barn.
Yep.
And not only did they not tear it down, but they took over maintenance.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, that was a double win.
Yeah.
Because that's something that probably took a lot of pressure off of the volunteer group.
Oh, it sure did.
To be able to have them do, so I suppose they do the grass cutting and, any kind of repair, maintenance.
Yeah.
Very good.
And one of the things we came to talk about tonight was our new registration with the National Register of Historic Places. And I have a copy of that certificate for you. You can have that.
Oh, how nice.
And through the work of the people of Muscatine, the local county groups, preservation people, we all worked together and we got that designation. And now we're working on putting a plaque on the barn itself.
Isn't that nice?
So we're really excited about that.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
That is wonderful.
Well,
long time coming.
Yeah, it's been a good enterprise, and I've enjoyed it, and I just hope the people keep supporting it.
Yes.
Because my point has always been the young people need to see that.
Yes.
Because they have never seen a barn like that, and because most farmers don't want a bunch of people running around their farm
through their
because of
stuff.
liability.
Yeah, sure.
This one's owned by the public,
right?
And it should be open for that reason. So.
I could see school groups going through there, having field trips and learning about it, and learning about the culture back then and what it was used for, and even about the poor farm. I think that's something our kids need to know.
Yeah.
They need to know about the history.
And when we do have a class or group of young people in there, what I say is they come up the stairs, they look at the barn, and they say, wow, and they go back to their
my goodness.
thumbing. And I get them talking about how did they put this first arch up there? And they quit doing this, and they start talking to each other, and they start engineering how
could they have done it?
How it was done, yeah. And that's the thing that gives me the greatest pleasure. So it's been a worthwhile endeavor.
Oh, sure. It must be fun for you to do it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Still
so
fun.
you have a nice group, Friends of the Old Barn.
Yeah, we have maybe 25 or 30 members, and half of them are active. And the other ones just...
Are you always looking for more?
Oh, yes. Anytime anybody wants to help us.
So I saw you have a Facebook page, Friends of the Old Barn. Is there another way for people to get a hold of someone on your group?
Well, that's what we're working on now. In the past, we had a little plaque there when it was under the Friends of the Barn guidance. We had a plaque there that said, contact John Askins or so and so and so. And we're working on that again. But as we said, we got to work it through Conservation Commission.
Yep.
And, they're busy also.
Sure.
But I intend to have a permanent board on there somewhere.
Yes.
That says how to get a hold of us.
So you could drive out, see it, and say, oh, I got a question, call here.
And once we get that information board on there, then we can then open it up for small groups or whatever. Because we got plenty of volunteers who know enough about the history of it.
That they could share.
Sure.
Yep. And I know they have groups go to Discovery Center, the Nature Center, because our daughter takes them around and tells. I could see it being all one big group. You go here and then you go here, and you can take a break over on the playground, and and you've got the restroom going to be there, and
it's. I think our future is a lot brighter than what we had figured on a few years ago.
It sure sounds like it.
So, and we're getting more people involved in it, and they're becoming more vocal about it, and that's what I like.
Yep.
Because I think they see the same importance that I do. If that goes away, there's not going to be another one.
That's right.
And we've got the only open barn in Muscatine County.
Yep.
So let's keep it going.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah.
That's right. Are you open for donations?
Oh, yes. We'll always take donations. You can send donations to Friends of the Old Barn, P.O. Box 443, Muscatine.
Hey, that's easy to remember.
Yeah, yep.
Very good.
We kind of try to keep things easy for everybody.
Oh, sure.
So,
well, I appreciate all that you do and all the hard work that you put into saving the barn for generations to come.
Yeah.
What a treasure, a big treasure it is for Muscatine County to have that.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing. We like to go out for walks around there, and it's just gorgeous. Yep. It really is.
It is. Well, we'll get all that information on there so other people can just get it.
Sure.
And we have it on the Facebook, I think, that you can contact me and I'll get something.
And congratulations on being named in the National Register of Historic Places. That's quite an honor.
Yes, it is, and I think the significance is that other people realize that it's a treasure.
Not just us.
Not just us. So
right, people from all over.
Yeah,
yes.
And they'll come and see it.
Yep.
In fact, we've had people, I've had calls and had tours of people from different areas call up and say, hey, we're going to be going through there at a certain time.
Oh, yeah.
And we show them the barn.
Oh, how
and
nice.
They're always glad to see it and quite generous.
Yeah.
So, and that's some of the things that help us pay the bills.
Sure, sure. So, well, very good.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do.
Well, it's my pleasure.
We really appreciate it.
It isn't just me. There's a whole lot of these.
Whole team.
Yeah.
Yep. And thanks, big shout out to the supervisors for recognizing the value.
Yeah.
And keeping it. Yep. Very good. Well, thank you again for coming. And while we get ready to close out for the evening, I would just like to share that our guests next week are Melanie Alexander with the Muscatine Art Center. She's going to tell us about all the things she's got coming up. We know we have another wonderful treasure out there at the Muscatine Art Center. Very blessed to have that. And then Chad Yoakum is going to come from behind the camera out into the chair and talk to us about the home ownership class that he's been doing here in Muscatine for quite some time. I know several people who have taken that class, young people, people who aren't so young anymore, but really a good opportunity for them to learn the ins and outs about becoming a homeowner, because it's a really big step and there's a lot to know, but anyone can do it. And so he'll give you the skinny on that next week. So the next thing I want to remind you, we have an in-depth city council meeting this Thursday at 7 o'clock. And then lastly, July 20th is going to be our next Coffee with the Mayor / our city, because we are going to do Coffee with the Mayor at the Pine Creek Grist Mill at Wildcat Den State Park, and we're going to meet with Friends of the Old Mill, and we are going to learn all about the old mill and interview them for our city after we get done having some coffee and touring around the mill and seeing another wonderful treasure here in Muscatine County. We're so fortunate and so blessed, and I thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next week right here on Our City.
Our City with Mayor Diana Broderson replays on MPW Channel 9, Wednesday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. and Thursday at 7 a.m. Of course, we're live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on Facebook. Email us at ourcity@muscatineiowa.gov.